Hello and welcome everybody to the Digivox podcast, episode 1. We are here today with our guest, Alexandar Taylor Barratt. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Tom. Thank you very much for the welcome there. And nice to be on this podcast here. It's kind of funny because we've been talking about it for so long to just like get a chat on because we've got experience and we've been working together for so long that it'd be nice to kind of just like have a rant and a chat together like this now.
Exactly. I fully agree. Let me see that I have everything ready here. It should be fine. Let me just put in episode 1 here. Boom, we have that going on. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I've been advertising this on the Instagrams quite a bit. So I'm really glad to see that we have some people coming here. We see the photography here in the chat. We see Murky Games in the chat. Feel free to say hello in the chat room if you're here. It would always be super nice to have you. And if you have any questions or something during the stream, feel free to post that over there. We're gonna just kick it off. Who is Alexandar Taylor Barratt? So where have you started? What are you doing at the moment? And tell me something about yourself.
Who is this man?
I'm
Alex, and I'm the founder of atb.media. Those are my initials. Thought it was pretty simple and also a really nice domain, 3 letters and the domain extension. I like that one. Pretty proud. And I've been between like Belgium and the US a whole lot of times growing up. My mom is from Belgium, dad is from the US. So growing up, it's always been a split between those 2 places really. And I gotta say that like a big part of like my inspiration for like growing a career in video has been through like YouTube and watching people like Freddie W and Cord of Digital growing up. And it's like when I was living in Belgium, like my dad wasn't there when I was across the sea. And so he supported me by like getting me a camera, for example. And that was one of the ways that you and I worked together and were able to create videos growing up when I was like 14, 15 years old. And it's been like a really fun time doing that with you. And then also just like making that into a career.
Just for context, we've known each other for almost 10 years. And we've connected in the beginning when we were in school together, through this digital media thing. That's what the podcast is going to be about digital media. And we both have so many interests in that field. So that's how I got to know him. And we've known each other for over 10 years now. We've done some projects together that we're going to go over as well later. So just to give you some context, so it's really weird for Alexandar to be introducing him to me because I've known him for so long. Zach says, still remember that YouTube FPS video? We're going to talk about that as well. Right. We have that ready. So what are you up to nowadays?
Well, nowadays I'm living in New York, and I've been in New York City for 2 years now, or approaching 2 years. So that's actually been going by pretty fast because like it started off with it was like saying it was the mix between Belgium and the US. And I did the last 4 years of college in Belgium studying audio video. It was actually funny because I didn't start with audio video. I chose web scripting and like programming at first because I thought audio video would be too easy. But it turns out when you think it's going to be too easy, it's just because you're passionate about it, right? So I started the programming and I was like, I just kind of didn't enjoy it as much. And then I jumped to audio video and then I just like flowed through all those classes like nothing. But I made sure to have a lot of fun while doing it. So, as you remember, we went to the studio always, and we would like go use like the audio recording suite, the video editing suite, and we would sit there together and have a lot of fun working on stuff. And so audio video turned out great over there. And then I kind of just like made the decision to make a big jump and go to New York City, and just kind of commit to it. So the way that you would commit to it, or the way I did, was by saving up enough money just to be able to afford a couple months there. Essentially, it was 3 months of rent and food that I would be able to take care of and just like sustain myself. And I just showed up there and just like went for it. Like if I'm there, I can like see people face to face. I can like meet people, go have coffee. I can message, email anybody. I was just constantly emailing people, like, I don't know, like 10, 20 people a day, just going at it. Craigslist, like, doesn't matter. And just seeing what stuck. And and things do stick, it's like if you only get like 5% or 1% that responds back, that's still 1 in 100, and you can still make something from that and grow from that. And that's what I did in the city. It was kind of cool because the one person that did stick initially was actually somebody that I really enjoy his content from, who's Terry Berenson. And he's really big on YouTube and makes cycling videos throughout the city. And if there was anybody I would want to respond to my email, it would be him. And he actually did respond to my email. And we actually did end up working together, which was a really awesome start to the city. So like, yeah, was definitely lucky, but you create your own luck by just doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've been working with him a lot as well, right? Over the years right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange too, because I learned a lesson there too. Like if you find a person that you're able to work with, like that's one source of income right there and future progression, but you can't be reliant on one source when it comes to freelance. So what I learned there in New York was I moved in when it was September, and then in the video industry in New York City, from what I've observed, is it dies down a bit in the winter. And Terry and his crew that he was working with, like at least a company he was working with, they are salary, right? So they don't have to really like worry about getting that freelance money in. But then I realized that in the winter there was no work, and I'm like, oh crap, like here I am. Everything that I was saving up now is being spent on just like being able to stay in New York City and wait for the spring to come around so there's more work again. And so I learned that lesson that, you don't put don't put all your apples in one basket, or
your eggs.
Right? Yeah, don't put your eggs in one basket. And,
that works.
And I diversified there and just like kept on doing what I did initially, and just like made more connections, and made it to the point where it was like harder to actually be able to harder to schedule stuff where you're actually getting enough where it's like you actually had to like choose something. So that's a really good problem to have, right? And I would say that I've got like probably about like 4 pretty reliable people that like have jobs coming in, and that's a really good thing until COVID, of course. Now there's nothing coming in, and it's just like the work that I'm doing is a lot of editing stuff for a nonprofit that I've been working with, and just like old footage, but like there's a lot of stuff to edit, so that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So that's how you're kind of bridging this gap, I guess, by doing that work. That's kind of shows, of course, that what you're saying. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially if there's freelancers out there. They probably have it's experience with this as well. Exactly what you're saying. But it is nice to hear that you still have a backup plan, and just in case there's nothing anymore, New York City explodes, but you still have work. Right.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And I think that's really inspiring as well for other freelance people to just keep looking. And for me, one of your biggest talents, like non-technically, is that networking that you do, because that networking skill that you have is just insane to me. Like how you connect to people and how you find connections and network. That's really a talent of yours, man. Super awesome. Okay.
Thank you. Well, I really appreciate that. And, I would say that a lot of that is because I moved around a lot, and like by doing that, you kind of just like have to start from scratch a lot. And like going to a new school, meeting new people. And like, I know exactly what that's like, to start anew. So like when you showed up at the school that I had already been at for a year in Belgium, like I saw you, I was like, oh, here's a new guy. Like I know exactly what this is like. I'm going to go over there and say hi. And like, that's essentially how I met, right? Like it's just like,
exactly.
I went over there, we chatted, and then like instantly connected over Photoshop. I think that's what it was.
Something like that, yeah. Probably some kind of Adobe program. Hey, do you know Photoshop? And then I didn't even know how that conversation went initially, but yeah.
I think I had a laptop with me too. We were like in the classroom already using like the pen tool, like the first day we met or something. And, and I think you were showing me your logo that you had for a production company that you had, Buana Studios.
Yes, probably.
Oh, nice.
Company, right? I was like 13. I was doing basically some kind of music production stuff. I was also like from a very young age doing some kind of digital media, audio stuff. Like I was just intrigued by it, and you were always more the video guy, right, from the beginning. Like I in the beginning was never super into video, but thanks to you, I've learned a lot from that. So is there any specific impulse you would say where you basically got that that passion from? Because it started from a very young age, right? Is there any specific thing that you say, like a movie that you watched or something where you said, was there a moment for you, a defining moment where you said, video, that's what I want to do?
Freddie W, man, that was the defining moment when I just like saw those like stupid, I mean not stupid, like funny
Goofy
shooter videos, right? Like goofy, like first person shooter. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, how do you do that? You can put muzzle flares on airsoft guns. Like, oh my god, like this is insane. And yeah, it was like that VFX. You know, actually, now to think about it, it may have even been before that. That's like when I learned my VFX stuff. But before that, it was Gary's mod, which is that video game Gmod.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I would try and record my game and then make stuff with that. And I was trying to make machinima at one point where I had this like whole idea, but it was incredible. I mean, it's essentially a whole TV show that I was like thinking of as a, I don't know, 14-year-old then. And yeah, definitely complicated to shoot that. And also like with fraps, like you had to have a good computer to record your frames properly.
Yeah.
So my computer just like couldn't handle it. It was a laptop back then. And also the files were insanely huge. So like if I were to actually record, like technically if I think about it now, like I would need like a terabyte of like data to be able to like film it, and then also a computer that can actually record it. And it's cool because like now that I know like how like cameras work properly, I'm also like imagining like, oh, if I could control the shutter speed inside of a video game, that would also be cool, because then you can get that whatever, that cinematic motion blur and all that good stuff, you know, controlling like lenses and whatnot.
Yeah, you've done that as well, right? With your 3D modeling and stuff. Sometimes you were showing me, when you were working in some kind of 3D modeling program, you were kind of showing me an impossible lens that you made inside the program and what it would look like and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, so that's in Cinema 4D. That was actually a pretty cool discovery, because like to me, like in Cinema 4D, the camera was just the camera. You know, it's like, okay, the camera's there.
It shows
Point
stuff.
it at something and put a light there, but I never really thought of C4D as the real world. You know, like I understand what a diffuse light is in real life, but then I never really thought about what's that look like in a 3D program. And same thing for the camera. When I saw there was like lens options there, I'm like, whoa, wait, there's aperture in here, there's focal length, there's all these settings on here that you can like actually modify, and you can literally make an impossible lens, like a 0.0001 f-stop lens that's just like has the most insane bokeh that
is
anybody
anything
can
in
ever
focus?
There is 1 pixel in focus, and that's all that matters when you have 0.001 f-stop, man. Yeah, like it's literally like impossible, but possible theoretically. But you're gonna have to try really, 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 really hard.
Like that would
I
be
think it would be a
lens.
really big, very enormous, like bigger than
planet
what I'm
size
doing here. Yeah, planet size lens in order to make that kind of an aperture.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny because if you want, we'll check out that because we're kind of talking about your humble beginnings and how we met and stuff. So I think it would be fun to just check out a video from our one of the first videos that we made together.
Okay.
And just look at it, and we're gonna just talk about it and the things that you would do differently now and stuff like that. I think that could be pretty funny.
All right.
So here we have
real life first person shooter Call of Duty VFX.
You can see it. Ooh. Okay, the real life first person shooter. Let's take a look. This is what Zach was talking about as well. So here it is, where the shit goes down.
First of all, that loading bar, I'd make it a little bit more.
Okay,
I would make it like skip a little bit more. And like stop.
Match beings.
Quality control is on point there.
We'll keep it. We'll play it the whole way through, and then we'll repeat it.
Right.
Match beings in. Oh, whoops! Sorry, guys. I was trying to change the volume.
Oh, Blana Studios killed Lieutenant Rice.
Boom. I did like those sound effects. I did like that.
Look at this. It's like a bronze level play right there.
Boom!
Ooh.
That's slow bullet travel, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Where am I? I'm gone.
Yeah, look at that. Look at
Where's
that.
My body. It despawned.
Body extra. That's some clever camera technique right there. Man,
Boom.
essentially all these videos are just tests. Just testing and seeing how this stuff all works and learning.
The BM.
Very BM.
Why am I lower ranked than you?
Oh, because I'm the editor.
You get to decide.
I picked the
Okay, so let's decompose this video.
Yeah.
So you have this the loading bar.
Yeah, loading bar. So I would make it a little bit more, you know, because loading bars never are just 0 to 100. It's like, yeah. That's what I would go for now. I would maybe do some quality checks on the.
Some quality. Rewatch my video. Rewatch my 1 minute vid.
Yeah.
Anything
I would make it a lower aperture camera here, so that the gun was in focus as well as the background. Hell, maybe I would do maybe I'd green screen it at this point for the gun. That'd probably be smoother.
You think so? Because we had this great backpack with tripod in the backpack thing that we would wear our backpack on the front of our bodies and put the tripod in when it was closed, and then it would have this camera angle. That's pretty much what this is, right?
That was genius, actually. Like, like how we figured that out, because like they were using like GoPros and for Freddie W, right? Like something that's attached to your head, and then we did the tripod in the backpack on the chest, and that worked out absolutely fine. Like for what we achieved then, top notch.
Boom. I was too well hidden. Like how you're like looking around.
Yeah, there's one spot where you can hide.
And then here, this is one thing that always,
no recoil gun.
It's not great, but this especially with the recoil on the side of the door, and then here this line where the effect basically ends. It just
I didn't know about soft masks back then. And then here we had you run.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like,
that's what happens here.
Deliberately move the camera off angle so that you could run away around to respawn.
Yeah, so I'm basically laying down. Here I'm standing up, running behind him, running back, and now I'm behind him, running behind the corner. And
nobody.
And now I'm suddenly there. Imagine that, boom. So that's it. That's the video, and then of course the BM at the end.
Yeah, and nothing's changed since then.
What do you mean nothing's changed?
Nothing's changed. Still the exact same skill level, and
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk a bit about let's check out some videos later about some project that we've done together. I want to actually kind of take a look at some of your projects that you've done so far. Some newer ones, if you like. Is there any specific one that you would like to look at?
Well, maybe we'll pull up ATB Visual. How about that?
Okay.
The Instagram, and I can show you Instagram. One of the videos where I learned about the lens effect, like how you can control your lenses and your focal length.
Let's take a look here. So atb.visual.
Yeah, and if you look up Daily D number 84.
84. Yeah, I got that one. Okay, let me show it to the stream. Here we go. Right.
And you can see how like there's an actual depth of field to it where parts of the object are in focus and parts are not in focus. And that was something completely new to me in C4D in that video. So it took me up to what is it? What date format am I using then? Is that European or American? January 5th, 2018. That's when I learned it.
Yeah. January 5th, 2018. Yeah, and you've been doing these daily Ds. And there's some really awesome ones. And you started with basically just still images, and then
Yeah.
you kind of transitioned into moving images at a certain point. Like
Correct.
here, somewhere in 2017, he said, okay, we're going to make moving videos. And the music's always super cool, too. Let me lower this a little bit.
Yeah, that was in 2017. Was doing that daily for a while. And yeah, I stopped in 2018 from what I can tell. I mean, I've still been randomly posting videos here and there just for the hell of it.
You've been doing like a lot of glitch art kind of stuff as well, right? At the end. Correct. And how are you doing that? Is that some kind of pixel sorting process, or what is that that's going on there?
Yeah, the last one is it's, I don't know if it's pixel sorting. It's machine learning actually.
But that's machine learning?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about that. How does that work?
It's trying to turn. Can you turn down a tiny bit on there?
Yeah. I've been muted for the stream, but
okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like essentially.
You can check it out if you want at atb.visual on stream on Instagram, by the way. atb.visual. Yeah, tell me about that. How did that work?
Essentially, every single frame, it's trying to turn it into a flower. So there's an X-ray of a flower. There's actually one frame where it shows where you can almost see it. And yeah, it's an X-ray of flower. So like it's got that blue and white color to it, and it's trying to turn every frame into that. And what it is, I went to After Effects and just like took like an image and just moved it and animated it, and then let the machine learning algorithm try and imagine everything as an X-rayed flower. So that's why everything is looking all funky.
Whoa!
How to react to music and put on a couple more effects on top of it, and then you get this.
So you have a photo. So you have a photo of a for the people on audio. This is DailyD93 on the adb.visual Instagram. So this is, you have a photo of a flower, and you're animating. What is actually moving? What is the moving part?
The moving part is After Effects, and I think I'm using turbulent displace and some like blobby effect, and then you just like kind of put them on top of each other and you animate it so that it's like always moving, right? So like the number is like going from 0 to 2000 or whatever over 5 seconds, and then it's like turning into something new, and then you put a machine learning algorithm over the top of it to make it think that it's a flower that's looking at, or a X-rayed flower. I'm trying to find the footage of it.
So the algorithm is trying to change the blobs into that image of a flower. Unsuccessfully.
Exactly, that's it. Unsuccessfully, yeah. It's doing a horrible job at it. Yeah. What's it called? It's a pretty popular one. It's called the style transfer.
Okay.
Style transfer is what that is, and then neural style transfer, TensorFlow style transfer. I forgot which ones it is specifically. I have it somewhere on my computer, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love these. So make sure to check that one out, adb.visual.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was like during my my visual career when in Antwerp I was doing visual gigs at the clubs over there.
Yeah, and
that was also pretty funny because I like didn't have any experience really in it at all, but I did video. And Alexandar Taylor, one of our friends, he was doing events, and one night he needed somebody to VJ. He's like, "Yo, can you like VJ?" I'm like, "Sure." You know, I'm like, we kind of just figured it out. Had some stuff playing. Played around with Resolume. Got the visuals up. Everything worked out, and it was already at a big club. That was at a Bear, which is like Antwerp's biggest club, I think.
Yeah.
So that was already a big deal. And what happened after that? The club owner, like a week or two later, called me and asked me if I could VJ for Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
I'd only VJ'd once in my life for a live audience, but he like knew that I did it then. He knew that I was at his venue, like, and he was like, okay, like we need somebody, like who do we know? We know him. Let's reach out to Alex. And then I was there doing visuals for Grandmaster Flash, which was also completely insane. It was like a massive LED wall. It was probably the most like hyped party I've ever seen. And I got to do the visual for that. So that was insane. And that's also on the Instagram, on the VJ highlights story. You can actually go on there.
On the visual?
Right at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I see.
It's really loud though when it starts because it's
I have the side muted for now. So but
okay. Yeah, it's
DJ highlights.
pretty,
Oh, you also did the
Yeah.
DJ Boring?
yeah, DJ Boring.
Nice. Yeah,
Mall
Sweely. I
Grab.
think I was there for Sweely.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Flash.
Giant LED wall.
Damn, that's a big LED wall.
Yeah. Jump Around is the song that's playing there. And you see, everybody's going nuts.
Damn, that looks insane.
That was actually really cool. So I did a cool trick with that one because I'm VJing all the way in the back. There's an LED all the way up front. And I took a webcam and put it on top of my computer, well, on top of a tripod that's like next to my computer, pointed at the stage. So essentially, I'm getting this video feed, and I'm processing that video feed into my computer and messing it up and displaying it onto the LED wall. And so that's why the lights are also on the LED wall.
They
Like, you can
sync,
see there's, like, all
yeah. The lines.
stuff that's, like, messing up and doing crazy stuff. And then a lot of it's just me manually adjusting knobs and twisting and animating it to make it more intense and lively.
That looks so cool. That was a good idea to like do something with the live feed from what's actually happening in front of you. So it kind of makes it even more trippy because everything's kind of moving together in real life, but also digitally.
Exactly.
Right?
That really, really helped out there. Like that like made it so that I was pretty unique from what I could tell, at least.
Yeah.
And like that's so, like, I even felt like, oh yeah, I'm pro. This is my second time I ever did it. Like, I was feeling very good about it. The mall grab one. Yeah, those are some really fun parties over there. That's for sure.
Just doing those visuals. I mean, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Like that just also shows your flexibility as well, right? In doing video and doing, live visuals, which is like a totally different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
But that kind of helped us as well with that video clip that we made for your dad.
Right.
Because we did projections live while we took the video, right? So that's this video.
Yeah, that was a really fun one.
We made this together.
Here, I'll give a little backstory too. My dad's a musician, and this is a song that he wrote like 15 years ago, maybe even a bit longer than that. And it was at one point when I moved to Belgium, and he was still in the US. So it's like a personal song that he wrote about like taking things for granted, especially back then. And he had the recording like on a CD. And he wanted me and Tom to make a video for it. And we made this video in 2018 where we also experimented with visual projection.
Exactly. You want to take a look at it? Let's go. Let me raise the quality.
We are always there.
This is with the projection stuff, right?
Right.
That's a projector, that light.
Looks like it's a stage light.
Yeah.
Touch, that means we can. Some things we take for
I love this shot on the side shot.
the sun will always shine. The last I love you from your voice, we'll hear it one more time.
Yeah, and that's just like a fun, just personal, like, that's actually my grandpa, that little kid.
The little kid.
Yeah.
Like our last goodbye. Sometimes we think
That was a fun video to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll be the last to die.
Yeah, that's here. You can actually pause it here. Like, it's cool because we were trying to use our experience from a different video that we had seen from what is it? Bodica? No, not Bodica. Because there's a music video with the projections. Remember with the person dancing in front of it? Who is it?
Do you mean
Bodhi?
no? Oh yeah, it is Bodhi.
It is Bodhi. It's Bodhi.
Yeah. We were inspired by a couple videos with projections. Also the Akira one, or what was it called? The Japanese video.
Right. That one's insane.
Yeah, but that was like really like high end. But it's Colors, right, by Bodhi.
Yeah, I think, let's see, Bodhi colors,
I think it's colors, the video, or no? Wait,
Bodhi song.
it's
there's also a lot of
what was the
Bodhis,
video
that's the
again?
problem.
It was
I can already hear it.
culture. That's
That's
a
it.
video.
There you go.
And yeah, that's
Oh, right. Music video.
wow. It's kind of hard to find. Oh, here it is, official video. That was a really awesome video, and this kind of inspired us.
Yeah, this was the true inspiration
make that.
for.
But this is such an awesome video as well. Just with all the bubbles and stuff like that. And a really awesome song as well, of course.
Yeah,
Such a cool
click
song.
to like 1:20.
This as well with the face.
Yeah.
That's so cool with the suit and then that face projecting on it.
Yeah, 1:20 is really sick.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah,
Projectors, man.
yeah. That's what we were saying then, right? Because we knew, okay, we have light, but with projectors we can kind of change that light and manipulate it in different ways. It's still light, but we can make of it what we want. And that was at that point kind of a revelation to us. Because we were like,
Yeah.
okay, it's not just lights, it's
It's your light. Whatever
digitally
you want.
shaped light. Yeah.
It almost makes it like a 3D world, you know, like you can play around and do things that aren't.
Oh yeah, this as well. This part here with the two faces.
Yeah, and that's like honestly like a little secret too, is if you want to make something special and unique, like it's almost the lack of light that makes for a better video. And I guess if you have like too much light, everything's flat, everything looks the same. But if you have less light, you get more of a dynamic range, right? Like you get your shadows, you
Yeah.
get your highlights. And if you have just one light, then you can like hide so many mistakes. You can just do whatever the hell you want and like have these crazy visuals like you're seeing right here. Which is what we did with the Gesaffelstein video. The Gesaffelstein video was also like a lack of light. That was purely light. We were only filming light
Yeah,
with the subject, just light, and then putting that into After Effects and just
true that.
matching it up.
This was this one, right? The pursuit video that you made.
Right.
That was actually filmed in a tunnel, right? In the
was-
car.
Oh, yeah, we're in the car driving. Experiments. Yeah, put that on like 20%. See.
Boom.
Yeah, it was from we were doing the VJ experiment night at the Bus, where we had the studio space
yeah.
upstairs.
That was
Yeah,
from that
so
night.
Yeah, that was that night.
Okay.
Yeah, which we also have a photo of us like
Yeah.
standing there.
Yeah.
I think it's on
I was DJing. You were doing visual stuff.
and that was an awesome space too. Like that. So my friends worked at the Bus, which is a great venue and creative center, and they also have a VJ that's in house, and he let us use one of the giant rooms upstairs to like play around and experiment in. And on the ride back, I was filming the traffic lights in the tunnel, and then playing around with them in After Effects.
I love how this turned out. How you created like this energy from it, especially during that initial bass drop, I guess. Just that energy that you got into it. Just looks super
It's
cool.
all just one shot.
It's one
One
shot.
video clip. Yeah, like a 1 minute and 40 video clip. I think I probably have like 40 seconds of usable footage in there, and just did this. Like,
Just created
After Effects is good. I was experimenting. Like there was no vision for that at all. It was just throw it in After Effects and move sliders until you get something cool.
This is
Make
a
it
cool
react to
one, too.
audio. It's like an easy tutorial. You can just look that up, and then you get this. Try and find a photo of us. Oh yeah, here we go. Copy image.
That photo where we're DJing and VJing, DNV, Jing,
DNV.
the DNV.
Don't want to be associated with the DMV, but
Send it over in
it's
Discord.
on Discord.
There you go. Here it is. That's me. This is Taylor.
Yeah.
And
That was an awesome table too.
yeah, super good table. We can fit all our stuff on it.
And the floor was great too. It's like one of those like easy, clean floors.
We had big
for, like,
speakers
if there's
there,
parking.
and the
I think it's
huge
actually for
projection
ballet to
screen.
have that floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the floor is for ballet for like if they're like not wearing their shoes and stuff. It's like got more traction for them to work with, or just the right amount, I guess.
We're just backtracking our rich history now of
Yeah.
all the things we did together.
Yeah, it's quite literally just like every time it's just an experiment.
Yeah,
Like, we're just
exactly.
hanging out, and like we did a lot of mixes too.
Hmm.
Like where you just come over and we just like mix music for like 2-3 hours.
And do you
Tell my mom
still?
to turn the music down.
What? Sorry.
Tell mom, told us to turn the music down.
Yeah,
Shoot.
exactly.
Well,
But-
then we put on headsets and we would keep on mixing.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. Just put on headphones. So what I was wondering is, like a lot of what we or you have done in the past of kind of projects involves a lot of experimenting. Do you still find yourself experimenting, I guess, in your professional work as well? I guess there's always an element of that, but do you use that a lot, or do you go back to things that you know will work?
There's definitely things that I know that will work, but there's like it's just like I guess like work right now has been less experimental. Like for what I was doing in New York City for the most part was DITing, which is a very technical job where you're trying to make things accurate and look appropriate for what's coming out of the camera and to your monitors. You want everything to look color graded and calibrated, so that the directors and DPs are all happy.
Mhm.
So that's been not so experimental because you don't want to like give the director a black and white image when they want just like a clean image. you know?
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, so with that, not so much recently. I guess it's more like those personal projects, like the one that we did with my dad, and also after that, there was another video, the Mosquito Lagoon one, that was pretty out there. And
like the more creative projects, I guess.
Yeah, and the 3D camera has been a fun one.
The which one?
I actually have a video. So the 3D camera that I've been using for stills,
Oh yeah, that's fun.
or not stills, I guess, because they're 3D. But I used the 3D camera to make a video as well, which I'll send to you on Discord right now.
I didn't know that. You made a video with a 3D camera?
Yeah, it is in the beginning. It's like going through the images essentially, but
Okay.
it worked out really well for the vibe of this video. And this one's a pretty short one. This is 38 seconds, so
Okay, sure.
very easy watch.
Which one is it?
I sent it to you on Discord.
I'm not seeing it yet.
Dagarn.
Oh yeah, I am seeing it. Never mind. Okay, let's put this in.
This is from a party where I was making a video for.
I don't think I've seen this.
Get ready.
Let's take a look.
Hope everybody was ready for that audio.
Yeah. That looks sick, dude. Looks like a sick party too. That's in New York?
Yep.
Damn, I love it.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot.
That party was also so like funny because it was in the middle of Manhattan in Soho, so a very like popular spot where you'd want to throw a party, and it was in a basement of a store, a mattress store. And what they did was the income or the price to get in, I think it was like it was $10. It was really cheap actually. So it was $10 to get into the party, and $5 if you left a 5-star review for the store.
Okay.
So at the entrance, they were like checking essentially, and if you left like a 5-star review, people were like leaving like all of these like super like thought out long comments. You're like, oh my god, I love the mattress here. The sleep is so good. And they give me like 5 stars showing at the entrance. They're like, all right, $5 a Venmo and you're in. So it's like this like underground party because I mean it's not sanctioned, it's not a club or anything. It's just a basement of a store. And I think somebody knew the store owner, and they were like, "Yeah, we can do this. We can pay you this amount, whatever, and we'll get you good reviews." You know,
Get you good reviews.
And like those good reviews, that translates into sales. It really does. So it's kind of like this like black market party.
It has to be a really nice, elaborately written out review. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
You know, like that's I would love to make a documentary about. Like they only did that one party, but they are planning on doing another one. But right now I guess it's not party time anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But that would be a
Obviously.
great documentary, kind of to like follow like a few parties like this, where like all these stores are like getting these reviews in and kind of just getting I don't know, like like a blurred out face, something like that, like having them talk and be like, how's business changed before and after the party? Like that a party actually puts you on the spot. New business.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I would love to see it too. I needed them to make more parties. Hell, I'm gonna
Make more parties.
I'm gonna message him. Yeah, I'm gonna message that guy.
There you go.
Put a quick reminder in. Remind me in 1 hour to message that guy about more parties.
The guy. Everyone knows the guy.
That guy. Yeah.
I had something written down here that you mentioned, and it was creating your own luck is a sentence that you said to me before we started this podcast.
Right.
Tell me more about that. What is that? What does that mean?
Well, that's me moving to New York City. That's the big one right there. By just like putting yourself out there and creating your own luck. Because if you're constantly applying the stuff and the stuff that you enjoy, then the response that you'll get is from something that you would enjoy, assuming it's what you reached out to. And even with when I was going to school in Belgium, we had to do an internship, as most schools have you do towards the end of your degree. And it was allowed to be pretty much anything. It was really open-ended. And everybody applied for internships that was like on this list of companies that the school has. Like they were like, oh yeah, we have connections with them. We know somebody there. Like it's an easier place to get an internship. And I didn't want to have anything to do with that list. And I didn't want to have anything to do with Belgium either. It was like, I'm gonna, like, I love Belgium, but my goal was to like do something that would be different,
Yeah, sure.
So I didn't want to apply to internships that were going to be easy to get. I wanted the ones that would be hard to get. And I applied to like every video production company that like made anything that was cool. Like I was watching Vimeo, staff picks, like constantly just browsing to like see something that blew me away, or stuff that I had liked in the past and favorited. I would check out the credits, see all the names that were written on there, find those people, email them directly, and just like reach out. Like I didn't even know what like a production company was, or like pre-production really. Like I thought like it was all like made by one thing. So like Canada is a production company that I really love, but they kind of just do the planning. They don't really do any of the like we're on set filming it. So I reached out to them and they're like, oh yeah, no, we would like interns, but yeah, we don't actually shoot. We just like come up with the idea. And I'm like, well, I want to like, shoot stuff. So like, I guess that doesn't work. And they use different production companies, whatever. But yeah, one of the ones that I reached out to was in London, called Cheat. And Cheat is a awesome color grading studio. They do Netflix specials, a ton of music videos that I had favorited and noticed that they were all by Cheat. And I reached out to the one of the owners there, Toby Tompkins, and he replied, and we got a meeting set up and all that, and that ended up being my internship. And it was also funny because I wasn't in London at the time. I was actually visiting my sister in LA, so across the planet pretty much. And I told Toby, like, oh yeah, I can call whenever. And he's like, oh, how's 10 a.m.? And I'm like, oh, 10 a.m. is great. Yeah, but like 10 a.m. in London, it was like 2 a.m. in LA or something. So I like got up at 2 a.m. in LA. I'm like, oh, yeah. Turn the lights on, turn the webcam on. Like, I took a shower before that too at like 1 in the morning. But they were like, oh, hi, Toby. How you doing? And
you did your best British accent.
My best British accent. And so the internship was like approved and got to go to London, lived there for 2 months, which was another amazing experience. And it's just like throwing yourself out there, right? Like I didn't know anybody there. And when I left, I knew a bunch of people there. And that's creating your own luck. Like if you go somewhere with somebody, like I had travel plans to go to Portugal once with Alexandra, and he unfortunately or fortunately he wasn't able to go, and I ended up going there by myself. But that was probably the best vacation I've ever had in my life, because like suddenly I had to meet new people. Like I wasn't just gonna be like not talking, like silent for the next 4 days. No, I went around like at the hostel, met people, and I also try to like vary it and not like always like make a group of friends and stay with them, because like at the hostels people usually hang out together more. So I like each night I would like try and like meet different people and like see what's up, and then like connect those people back to each other and all that. So it's not all just like one pod that you're stuck with, you know. It was a constant like mingle of different people, which made it exciting and a very memorable experience. And I'd recommend that to anybody. Travel alone. Use Ryanair. Flights are super cheap. I think I paid like 20 euros for each flight, so 40 euros total to get there. It was like 18 euros a night for the hostel. Food also at the hostel for breakfast, and I would just like pack up some food for lunch, and then essentially all I had to do was like pay for dinner and alcohol, and it was a very, very, very good time.
And what did you do? Like, how did you meet? Did you have a preconceived notion of this is the kind of people that I want to meet, or these are the kind of connections I want to make? Or
no, not at all. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just looking for people. You know, people are great. They talk, and you vibe off of good people, you know, and you have a good time. You can't be choosy, I guess. Then
sure.
It's awesome. Like I even one night, like I kind of decided like they were gonna do a bar crawl, but every time a hostel is a bar crawl, it's like a death sentence for the night. It's just like this like boring thing where they have like a partnership with a bar, and the bar is making money. There's nobody there, and the hostel is like used to like get the people there. Yeah. So like we were like walking to do our bar crawl, and I had my skateboard with me. And I'm just like walking with everybody from the hostel, and like it was good, but like I already knew everybody, and it just I don't know, the idea of going to like a set up bar crawl is kind of like And we walked past this one street where there's like tons of people, and I'm like why are we walking past that? That looks like where the fun is. And I'm like, I kind of just like ditched. I didn't like say bye or anything to the group I was with. I'm just like, all right, I'm going. And I just like went down that street. And that was a very exciting night too. Like met a lot of random people at a random girl too. And it was very,
that's good. That's good advice. That's good advice. Just like travel alone and put yourself in unexpected situations and stuff.
Yeah.
That seems fun. And I was wondering one more thing about you were saying before something about that you learned when you came to New York, when you started working in the video how do you call it, like video sector or something?
Industry.
The videography industry. Like you said something about that you learned about production companies and that you didn't think it was what you thought it was before. So how does that work? What did you learn about how the video industry kind of works in the US at least?
Yeah. I guess since like growing up, we always did everything, right?
Yeah.
Like we were always making every single bit of our videos. So that just like seemed like the job. The job was make the video. But
and everything that belongs like within that umbrella. Everything.
Like making the credits, making the sound for it, making the visuals, doing the VFX, coming up with the plot, the story, whatever, just like all that stuff. And then when coming to New York, I was a production assistant, but I was telling the director what to do. As a production assistant, you're down there, like you don't even talk to the director, and like the director, he fortunately was like a really chill guy, and like, but he kind of like said it to me too. He's like, like relax a little bit, but like it was like in a very chill way. It wasn't like aggressive at all. But after having worked with like so many more people after that, I like realized like, oh my god, like there's a true hierarchy here, right? Like which makes things efficient. It really does, and it's how it does work very well. Like it's a very well-oiled machine on a film set because like people know their jobs, they know who they talk to, and there's all these departments. So it does work very well. But like coming from somebody that had no sense of rules, like suddenly thrown into this like military boot camp with no training, it's kind of strange because I'm like thinking like, wait, I can do that. I can move this thing. I can help you guys with that, like this, that. Where they like you're not allowed to touch a cable, for example.
Yeah, you're not even allowed.
yeah. You're so like if you're in the union, then it's like the rules are really strict. Like you can actually get fined for moving a light or something like that, or moving a C-stand. And
it's like you do strictly your job, I guess is what you do.
You do your job. You do what you're paid to do. And which is great and all, but at the same time, it also kind of like makes people a little bit lazy on set sometimes too. And
yeah, because it's like it's not my job. Oh, my light is cut out.
Yeah.
It does that.
Uh-oh.
So let me fix that. You keep going.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just kind of interesting to see how that is, and everybody does their job. So me as a DIT, I also saw that like I had to do my job as a DIT and be technical, right? So that's not exactly a creative endeavor that you're going through there, which is something that I'm looking for, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that with COVID-19 now, that this is actually probably a good opportunity for me to get more creative and work some stuff that, you know, is for me and broaden that skill set as opposed to being, you know, just doing your job.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of know. I have a couple more questions for you, kind of general, like interviewee questions that I think might spark some fun things. So one thing is, what's the biggest challenge in your field, and how are you planning to overcome it? I'm thinking for you, I mean, I'm going to let you reply, obviously, but like doing more creative oriented things, is that kind of a challenge for you, or what is? Do you see something else that's like that's the biggest challenge, and this is kind of how I'm planning to get across that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the answer preceded the question there, where it's definitely the creative side that is lacking in my job. So you think that like with like working in the film industry, like it's a very creative process, which it definitely is, but it's there can be definitely more creativity in my work, that's for sure, and in DIT specifically. But what is cool though is like even when you're doing that technical job, you're still solving problems all the time. Like every single day, there's a new set of challenges, and you're trying to figure out how to make it work. Like you're running with new cameras, and they're looking pink, but it's a brand new system, and you've never worked with them. How do you make it not pink? You know, and you realize it's nothing to do with the lights. The lights are fine. The computers are all fine, but the camera has like all these like different profiles on there, but then there's like specific settings within each profile. And then you realize that it was because whoever rented the camera before did all this manual calibration to the camera, and that you have to like reset it and blah, 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 blah. There's like all these like things that you got to think of. And like with a DIT cart, it's this cart that you pull out of a truck, and then you got to build it and set it up somewhere. But you're outside half the time, so you're working with generators, or you're inside a really tight space, and there's no space for you, and you got to figure out like, all right, how do I get wireless signal all the way over there, like down the hall and around the corner, without it being distorted? It's like, okay,
what is DIT exactly?
Digital information technician, and you are
because you also work with cameras as well.
Yeah, so you get the image from the camera, the live image, and you bring it through your system, you color grade it on your system, and you bring that color graded image live to the directors and the producers and so on, so they can like see what's going on. And the director of photography, who's manning a camera, usually he also needs to have a clear image of like what it's looking like. So that's what I'm doing. And you're also getting all the footage afterwards and backing it up on multiple hard drives. But yeah, when you're doing that live image, there's a lot of challenges. Like, how do you get that live feed down the hall, etc.? Because they want to have the camera and want to have freedom of movement with nothing attached to it, but they're in a completely different room than you are, and you need to get this like stuff moving around. So you got to think like, all right, can I put a receiver over here on the ceiling? I'm going to strap a receiver there on the ceiling. I'm going to lay a cable, bring it all the way to my system, and then like bring another transmitter out there. And like, it's always a puzzle, but it always ends up working at the end of the day. It's just, how do you solve a problem? Like, and how can you do it better the next time? You usually don't not solve the problem. You usually always solve it, but like you always learn how to do it better for each next time you encounter with a strange set of cards like that.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest surprise you've had in the past 6 months, other than COVID-19?
I mean, that, yes, definitely. Biggest surprise. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to think about not that, because like you would be visiting New York.
Yes,
I'm always visiting New York. There's
last
a
week.
lot of things that would be happening. Yeah, last week exactly.
I would have been there.
Maybe I don't really like. I guess like surprises don't really surprise me. I I really I'm like I just told Caroline this earlier today that I'm like a master of rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
So if something like hits me that's unexpected or that is a certain way, then I just go with it being that certain way. You know, like that. Okay, like this is this is a true statement now. Like then I'm going to work with that true statement and move forward with it. You know, like I don't let it bother me or be like, oh my god, this sucks. That it's like this thing is that or this or whatever. It's like, okay, this is the punch. Now we roll with it and we keep going with it. Yeah, I would say like it's a big challenge that I accomplished, I guess. That's not even work related, but that's like just like passion. And that was like cycling.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to LA in February before the shutdown, and that was this like massive bike ride called the LA Tourist Race, where you bike 100 miles over. I think it's like I think it might have been 100,000 feet of elevation. I'm not sure. I might be getting it wrong. So either 10,000 or 100,000. I think it's 10,000, above like 10,000 feet of elevation.
Okay.
And I mean, this is my girlfriend's bike, but yeah, you see, they're inside. We like them. And yeah, it was a huge bike ride. First time I ever did 100 miles in a race setting, and then also in the mountains
as well.
and on gravel, like all these like crazy rocks, and like I got a bunch of flats, had like tied my tube and all that to like make a flat not a flat because I already used all my tubes. I had to like make sure I had enough water, or we were like sharing water between different people, and yeah, like I was a total zombie at the end, but like that was like a very great, like something that I like accomplished and like felt very proud of doing. Like that's like a thing, you know, I did, and I like say that's the thing. So that's awesome. Not a surprise, but an accomplishment.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then one more question. How do you continue to learn like in your field? How do you like are you doing anything specific to say I'm constantly like learning or staying creative, or are you doing certain things to continue learning? And so what is that?
The creative aspect is the thing that I need to work on for sure. And with that, the time that I learned the most was probably through my ATB Visual Instagram account, where I was doing stuff daily.
Yeah.
Because all I was doing was just experimenting, and I was learning what every single effect did. I was learning 3D software, and like it was completely like it was not serious at all. It was just
experimenting.
Stuff is happening,
playing,
and you're pushing buttons, and then that's how I learned a lot of that stuff. So that's definitely been the most like plentiful of experience was through that account, and through that challenge of doing something every day, which was inspired by Bogasm, by the way. If you guys know him, he's a really, really excellent graphic designer, and he did a daily D challenge or daily design. I forgot what he called it.
Yep.
And or design every day or something, or poster every day, something like that. Yeah. And I went with a daily D. Thought it was a fun name. And yeah, he was that was also pretty goofy at the same time. Yeah, that was where I learned the most, and I think that's an important thing I should probably continue on doing.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing more of that. Also, Ed, one more question: do you have one shirt and one hat only, or
one shirt and one hat? Go my portfolio. You can see exactly this combination right here. And
this is the shirt and the hats that from the photo from the announcement.
Right,
you put on for the occasion.
I thought it'd be relevant. It is my favorite shirt, and I really wear it like pretty rarely. Like I would say in the last like 3 months, this is the second time I've worn it, and I'm thinking 3 months because like that's what I brought with me during coronavirus. So like, yeah, like I don't wear it that much at all, but I do love it. I love the colors. You know, it's a fun shirt. It says fun.
It's super fun.
Like nothing about it says
it says colorist. It says that. Yeah. I like colors.
Yeah.
I was almost at one more thing. If any of the audience has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat that you want to ask Taylor or me or anything or about the podcast or whatever question you might have. Please leave that in the chat. And then I have one more question for you personally, and that is, what are some future projects that you're working on? Is there anything that you can talk about that is upcoming, that you're planning to do? Whatever, and feel free to plug all your shit.
All right. Yeah, a project that I'm working on and still need to film more of is a documentary, and that one is about a mother and her family, who are now all old enough, so they're not kids anymore, but like they essentially, this mother is being forced out of her property in Florida, in Edgewater, Florida. And she's got this beautiful place by the water and all that, and raised her kids there, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's like a lot of people have like lived there. And it was this business on the water that like boaters would come to and like get their bait. There was a little bait shop. Mm-hmm. It was a very like special place for the people back then and now. But she's being forced out of her property by a bigger business that's trying to turn this residential area where she is into like a store, like business kind of center. And like it's not a business place, it's a residential area. So like you don't like put a store or like a Applebee's or whatever kind of restaurant like in the middle of it, you know, like people just live there. And so they bought, like this company bought a property immediately behind her and next to her. And somehow they were able to get like the city council to approve it. And like it's like everything's been denied, but like these guys, like I think they got some kind of in with the council where they're like allowed to do it. Mm-hmm. And they have this like site where they're like allowed to like dump stuff and like waste into the river where they live on. It's like this like it's an estuary called Mosquito Lagoon. Mm-hmm. And it's like one of the most biodiverse places of water in all the United States. So that's like to be like polluting, exactly, and to be like polluting it and to like throw like trash in there and whatnot is not good. And also she's being forced out of her property. Like they bought the land that is her driveway, so like her driveway is owned by them. Like it was a small like dirt road that used to be like secured property like for the city, but they've given it to this restaurant, and essentially she's completely blocked out. Her property's on the river, and property behind it and next to it is all acquired by this place that's going to build a restaurant and whatnot all there. And it sucks for her. So I'm just like trying to capture like the emotional side of it. Mm-hmm. And see what her options are, because she has to sell her property, and her options are to sell it to the people that bullied her out of it, or to sell it to a conservancy and to like not get what she wants financially, but to like, I guess I gave like a last FU to that company. And I don't know, it's just kind of rough, you know, like imagine like you have your house and then everything around it completely changes to like where it's like you can't like even like you can't drive your car to your house anymore, you can't park by your own house. Like it's like all this stuff. So that's where we are. Right. And we're filming the documentary for that, and I need to go to Florida a couple more times to get some more last footage and follow up on some updates.
I'm looking forward to
what's
that.
going on over there.
So you're doing I guess nowadays more story-driven content rather than visual content, I guess.
Yep. Yes.
Well, it's also video still, obviously. So you still have a visual component, but it's more story-driven, I guess, that you're doing nowadays. And is that a conscious decision, or?
I guess it's kind of like naturally happening, and at the same time I'm aware of it, so conscious in that way. But yeah, like that's the thing that's always lacked in my previous videos. They looked cool, but they didn't have any story. So I'm trying to find that story element now in future videos and give a person a reason to watch, because my videos were cool, but they had no reason to keep on watching unless you were high. You know, that's essentially the only reason why you'd watch any of my old videos. And the videos now they give you a tug, you know, and you're like watching it and you're like, oh God, okay. And or at least I would like people to feel that and learn something. So that's what I'm really trying to aim for in my future videos, for sure.
Okay, Awesome. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that. We have a question from Zach Keen. I'm sure you know this person, and I'm sure you know the Zach. And he asks, Alex, what do you see for your future, location and job wise? Well, what a question that is.
Very deep question. I mean, like, it's a time of uncertainty, right? Like, nobody really knows what the future holds for them, and even people that are in secure positions are pushed out of their jobs, you know. And I know that my jobs will continue to be in the film industry, but it's also like a big question on like, yeah, now is a time that things can change. So seeing how I was doing all these technical jobs before, maybe now it's time that I can go into a more creative side of things where I can be directing content as opposed to being the technical guy that makes the content possible. And yeah, where? I honestly don't know. New York is actually going to be on the back burner for me right now. I recently actually just like stopped paying or stopped my lease in New York City because it's not bringing me any financial gain. It's only taking money, right? So like it doesn't make sense for me to keep on paying for an apartment when it's not giving me that New York income that it was supposed to do. So that's where I am now, and I'm going to be heading to Ohio to be staying at my dad's place temporarily, bring my furniture and whatnot until I figure out what the next step is. So it's unknown for sure, but I definitely want to be more creative. That's a big one, because just like when I imagine like future me, like it's a creative me that I want to see. I want to be able to like look back and see the stuff that I made, and not necessarily the stuff that I made possible, but just like, you know, projects that like are that I'm more or less completely responsible for. Like, and that's always the most fun. Like when I like look back on my videos, it's really fun to see it, because I remember like the whole process that we went through to make it. I get like a little emotional tug, you know, like even the FPS shooter
brings a smile to your face.
Call of Duty that we did. Yeah, like that was fun. Like, and like how we came up with like putting the camera in a tripod inside a backpack. Like, oh, that's genius, you know, like, oh God. Like those things. And yeah, as Zach says here, help create your vision, not someone else's. And yeah, like it's, what's the saying? You can have somebody do a job for you, or you can like be the one doing their job. Or I know what you mean. Like, but it's like, oh yeah, make your dreams come true, or somebody will pay you to make their dreams come true, is what that is. And yeah, like I've definitely done both of those things. So I want to make it more on the side of where I'm making my dreams come true. And of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with like doing stuff for other people and making their dreams come true. But I'm just saying that I want to have more of it where it's stuff that I'm actually pushing and creating. That's like definitely where I'm aiming.
And what about maybe this is just another question, is some photography stuff, because I know you're into photography as well, to maybe a lesser extent, but you still love photography. So are you doing anything in that sense?
I absolutely love photography, and what I've been doing the most recently is taking photos while on the bike. I'm pretty good at riding the bike with no handlebars, and I've like gotten really good at using my camera while riding my bike as well, and like finding the right opportunity for when I can shoot. So I have it like hanging on my chest essentially at all times, over my shoulder and down my side over here, and like I'll get up and like try and like, you know, like I'll essentially be standing like straight up, like my knees will be at my saddle, like hugging my bike, and I'll be standing straight up, like holding the camera up high so I can get these like crazy top down shots while like riding the mountains, which you can see on my Instagram at atb.media. And it's definitely more of a like passion outlet, I guess, to just like always be shooting and just to get like things to post and look at. And portraits in between there as well. I really enjoy getting a good portrait in, and it's nice because you got a different person, right? You got a subject, you got somebody that's got a story and an emotion, an outfit that they like. You know, it's this person. Like, how do you make this person the most them as possible, so that like when they post it on a job site or for their Instagram or whatever, like it's just something that really says, I am this image right here. And when I get a good portrait like that, I'm very happy.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that is it. I think we are going to round this up. I think it was it was really fun talking to you about all this stuff. I learned some things as well that I didn't know yet.
Oh yeah.
And I hope some of the audience as well. Unless there's some things that you still have in mind that you want to mention.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. Like I'm really happy that we're doing this because I mean we talked about it for a long time.
Exactly.
And because essentially any conversation that you and I have already is a podcast. It's just like
pretty much, yeah.
Essentially what we said was like we just got to turn the cameras on sometime.
Yeah,
and record it. That's all we had to do. Because I think we even did record one with them, so it was just like we just recorded the audio on our phone, and we're like, oh my god, we got a podcast.
Pretty much,
now,
yes.
Now that it's all set up, and like
Yep.
you really made this happen. Like this is really sick. Like what you did here with OBS and all that. Like this is all that digital media, all that knowledge is like coming.
Bring it all together.
Like your setup too. Like you've got that crazy podcasting mic. You got foam behind you. You got the nice headset. You've got multiple mics there, right? Are those two I see right there?
No, this is just one. This is a strobe. This is a light.
Okay,
actually.
a strobe right for your light. Yeah. So lighting is something that you've learned a lot about recently too.
Well, yeah, I bought these two strobes. I bought these. Well, this light that's I'm using as a video light is actually not a video light. You know?
Right. It's a strobe for photography.
Exactly. So this is a Godox 8400 Pro.
Yep.
And I have two of these, and it's a nice beefy strobe. And if you look into this accidentally while it's on half power, you are literally blind for 5 minutes.
Right. Okay.
it's
got power.
It's kind of stupid.
Are you gonna like aim it right at the webcam and nuke everybody's eyes now?
I think this one's battery is dead. Yeah, this battery is dead, so I can't show it. But it has like a modeling light. It has a flash bulb. And then right under it, the yellow thing, I don't know if you can see that, the yellow in there, right below it. That's kind of an LED diode. And you can use that as a modeling light. But it's right now on there, it's on 10% of the light output.
Mm.
And it's in a softbox. So that's also reducing the light. And it's still, I can use it as a functional video light for my webcam. So, I mean, it's...
Yeah.
And the thing is, above 10% or above 20%, I think there's a pretty loud fan in it. So right now it's only on 10%. So I mean, I can go up to 100% with a fan, and then I can use it as a very effective modeling light for photography. So for doing studio portraits and stuff like that, which is really fun.
Yeah, your setup is really crazy. I wonder if you can like send a photo or something, or pull up a photo just like to show your setup.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, that image that you just sent me, you should show what you've got there. It's funny because like I mean we grew up together, so I remember like we were like always dreaming like, oh my god, if only I had two displays. if I had a PC, if I had a mechanical keyboard, all this stuff, but like just like over time, you got a job and you got money coming in and you can sort that afford stuff. And there's Tom.
This is the setup.
Crazy setup. Yeah.
So this is a 43-inch screen in the middle. Here's Taylor. Here's OBS, here's Notes, here's Discord, here's the video sharing program that we're using. This is the controls for the audio, this is the audio recording stuff and browsing stuff, and this is the video feed on the screen below. And this is the mic and stuff. So, and this is the softbox that you see on top of here. Yeah. So I guess the 43-inch screen is really nice. It's obviously huge, but it's really nice to keep track of everything that's going on. It's like it's 4K. So, and 4K on 43 inches to me is just perfect. It's just the ideal size for 4K. Everything looks like if you would get a normal 1080p screen, that's about like the size. Inch. Yeah, a 24 or 27 inch. This is about the pixel density that you would get on that as well. It's just It's just stretched to 43 inches, so everything looks perfectly normal. It's just big.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I got a 27-inch 4K monitor once, and everything was way too small.
Yeah.
That's because the inches was way too dense. There's too many pixels within it. But if you stretch it out on a 43-inch monitor, then it makes more sense.
It looks perfect, and I can just keep track of everything at the same time now. So this is actually super beneficial now. And the audio stuff is also super nice. I also have this really nice Sennheiser mic. This is an Electro Voice RE20 that I'm using right now. We're going to talk about everything on this podcast, even audio, everything. This is an Electro Voice RE20, and this is my beloved Sennheiser MKH416.
Right,
Or
which you got to
MKH416.
learn about when I was studying at KDG. Because
Exactly.
we had a rental department and all this stuff and gear like that nobody was ever using. I was using it all the time. I was renting the studio space constantly because nobody used it. So I was just like hanging out at school like overnight and stuff. And then the audio equipment. I'm like, Tom, does this like interest you at all? And yeah, you're like, oh, wait, can we like rent the MKH 416? We did, and you did some reviews on all the microphones that we had.
I did. I have like
you got more use out of the mics than the students did actually.
I tested the mic extensively, and a couple of mics that you borrowed me from there. So that was awesome to test out these mics, and then I actually ended up getting it because it's so good. It's so good, and it's secondhand. They're actually not that expensive. So this mic is, if you get it new, it's about €1,000, dollars, your regional equivalent. But the thing is, it has a small kind of drawback to it, and that's the paint. Like, I'm not probably going to be able to show this properly on the screen.
Right.
Let me actually put solo video, just cam. So the paint, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of scruffy.
Up a little bit. Yep.
So that's the downside of this mic, that the paint itself is not very durable.
But everything still sounds the same.
The sound is perfect, but it's just the paint gets kind of damaged over time really easily because it's not very durable paint, and that just drives down the secondhand price like crazy. Because some MKH416s, exactly, some MKH416s, they look like absolute crap, but they sound still amazing. But just the way they look, that drives the price down. So you can actually get some very cheap MKH416s. Like, my equipment wouldn't look like this because I baby my equipment. I don't take it out. Like, this is probably used somewhere on a boom pole or something. Like, if you actually use it and abuse it, sure. Like, this mic can take it, but for me, it doesn't really matter. Like, to me, what matters is the sound. So if you are in the market for a mic like that, for doing voiceovers, doing video production, just anything, even just like talking to people or making YouTube videos, just anything. This mic is like a legendary voiceover mic, and it just does everything, man. You can use it as an overhead mic, you can use it on a boom pole. Like, this mic can do basically anything. And it sounds amazing.
How much did you pay for that one?
This one I just paid like $400 for.
Nice. So to be able to pay like less than half the price for the exact same quality,
exactly.
That's pretty nuts. That's good.
So if people are in the market for a mic like this, definitely look it up secondhand. The Sennheiser MKH416. Sometimes really incredible value. So yeah, that's the setup out of the way. There we go. It's fun, man. I just love doing this stuff, like streaming and stuff. I also want to talk about streaming and how this is set up and audio and all that stuff on this podcast. I think it's just super fun to play with and play around with and do.
As you said too, like, your idea is to do all things digital, because we love audio, we love video, we love design, we love all these things, and you've attempted to make a few channels on specific subjects.
Exactly.
But then realize it's a problem because then you have to like maintain all these like 5 different channels. Like, God, how do you make that work? The secret is you just do it all in one. And
exactly.
Here it is.
There,
Digivox.
photography. Look, I have this nice camera. This nice camera that you first got that I now have.
Right.
That I'm really happy with now.
Right over there.
There we go. The Sony A7 III. But the thing is, I actually want to use this A7 III in the future for streaming. But I need a capture card. And now with COVID-19, all of the HDMI capture cards are sold out everywhere because everybody's trying out streaming.
Webcams too. Webcams are sold out like crazy.
Yeah. I imagine. So I don't really like this webcam too much. I think it looks decent as it is right now, but it would look so nice with a nice vintage lens. My 28mm on there, on a full frame camera. Just have that as an input for the stream. I think that could be really cool.
I guess you would need a capture card. You could look into getting a monitor, maybe. Like getting a monitor that's also a recorder, and so one that you can like plug in your mini HDMI to. And bringing like I guess like a capture card. What kind of inputs would you be looking for? Like
just HDMI
connect to your computer. Yeah.
It's just something to input the video feed into the computer. That's basically what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I guess
like an Elgato Cam Link is an example.
you could potentially record, but yeah, you want it for live, so you can't really
Live, live. So an Elgato Cam Link, basically anything that turns an HDMI input into a webcam for your PC. So your PC sees as a webcam, so you can use it on Discord, you can use it on everything. You can use it on OBS as a video input, just like a webcam. It just makes it into a webcam, like an Elgato Cam Link, or the Blackmagic has one, the Web Presenter.
Right. Blackmagic, I would highly recommend for that.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
it is quite expensive. It's almost 600 euros. I think it's between 500 and 600 euros for the Web Presenter. But that could also be really cool. But I mean, the Elgato Cam Link, it does 4K and it's like $100. So, and it's like a USB stick size. So,
nice.
I mean, it's really tiny and it works. It does 4K and it would be perfect for this because this is a clean output. So that could totally work. Other than that, I haven't done my street photography in quite a while because of all this COVID stuff. But I hope soon that I can continue to do that because that would be really fun as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Some of the photos that I have on my Instagram too are from in the city. Mm-hmm. They can see in New York City how it looks when it's dead quiet.
Yeah, I wish I would have been there last week. I would have been photographing all week, basically.
Right. Yeah, like Times Square completely empty and stuff. It's nuts. It's freaky.
Those are historical pictures if you get those right now. Yeah, that's like something they'll look back to in 10 years and be like, "Whoa, 2020, well, that was a crazy year."
That was a crazy year indeed. Actively crazy.
Yep. Okay, man. I just want to thank you for your time to join on the first episode of this new Digivox podcast format that I'm trying out to bundle all my hobbies, interests, and people that I love, such as yourself.
Hell yeah.
So,
see you too, Tom.
Yes. So I want to thank you for being here. I want the viewers who are here I want those to thank those as well. I'm going to thank you individually, all the followers. The first follower happens to be you. Then East Black Boy, Wanchbello, the photography, Alex on Streets. Shout out to Alex on Streets as well. Boba Schick, Stanislav, Anakin, Zakeen, OGCino, Murky Games, and Nazai Ken. Thank you, everyone, for following, for viewing, for following along. Thank you, Taylor, for being here. And we will see you in the next episode. See you later.
Thank you, guys. Peace out.